Hello everyone, my name is Sir Spooks and today we'll take a look at 13 scary videos. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more scary content. Alright, with that said, let's begin. This first video we'll be taking a look at today comes to us from a TikTok account known as the Still Room Society, and shows how even the most unexpected places can feel unsettling. The footage in question was filmed at the Willard Library in Evansville, Indiana on January 17, 2026. The library was built back in 1885, making it one of the oldest public libraries in the state. There have long been stories of hauntings tied to the building, with the most well-known being a ghostly figure often referred to as the Grey Lady. Over the years, both visitors and staff have reported seeing this apparition moving through the halls, along with other strange occurrences like sudden cold spots, flickering lights, and books falling from shelves without explanation. At the start of the video, the woman recording asks whatever might be in the room with her to show itself. Just a couple of seconds later, something unusual can be heard.
I can hear you back there. Why don't you show yourself to me? I know this is your home, and I mean you no disrespect. I'm just curious about you, like why you're here and who you are. My name's Missy. I'd love to know more about you.
Right around here, a series of strange noises seem to echo from somewhere nearby in the library. The sounds are faint, but distinct enough to stand out against the otherwise quiet room, creating a moment that feels hard to ignore. At first listen, it almost feels as if something is responding to her request, especially given how quickly the noise follows. The timing gives the impression of an interaction, even though nothing is ever seen on camera. Of course, there's also the possibility that the sound came from something more ordinary. Perhaps movement elsewhere in the building, shifting materials, or even another person out of view. In a place as old as this, unexpected noises wouldn't be entirely unusual. What makes the clip linger is how little context we're given. With no clear source for the sound, the moment is left hanging, just enough to raise questions but not enough to answer them. This video was posted by CC Wrights 5244 to her TikTok account in January of 2026 and shows her filming inside her home while seemingly asking a spirit to close a set of double doors directly in front of her, as a couple of her friends talk in the background. What stands out right away is how calm she sounds, especially considering how young she appears. There's no panic in her voice, just a steady request as she focuses on the doors. After a few seconds pass, this is what happens.
Can you please shut the doors?
Can I show it so you can see that it sees? Oh yeah. They're shutting.
Oh, there it goes.
Show it so nobody can everybody can see that.
Oh wow, nice job. That's really good.
Actually, I don't think it's slamming.
Guys, he basically.
Wait, show it like this so you can see that nobody's pushing the door or something.
Okay, can you try opening the doors? If it's too hard, we can help you. Yeah. I'll give you a second. Just try opening them. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a little push. Okay. That would have been a little harder there. Can you push it open? It's not really badly. Me too.
We'll check.
Oh, awesome job. I think that's gonna be easier.
Did you try opening it? There's most activity I've ever actually seen because I always want to saw activity happening.
Can you please try pushing the doors open instead of shutting them? Wow, nice job. That's really impressive.
Oh, is it? Oh, never mind. That's just.
Okay.
Wait.
It's shutting them. Good job. Try keeping one open.
Oh, nice job. Okay, guys, let's go downstairs.
Okay, we're gonna head downstairs, okay?
As you just saw, the doors slowly begin to close on their own, with no one visibly touching them. The movement is steady and deliberate, making the moment feel more controlled than accidental. She then continues asking the same presence to open the doors again. It takes a bit of persistence, but eventually the doors begin to move once more, this time swinging back open in a way that mirrors what happened before. The way this unfolds gives the impression of a direct response, almost like something is listening and reacting in real time. The back and forth nature of the interaction is what makes the clip feel especially unusual. That said, this could also come down to something more practical, like airflow, pressure differences between rooms, or even someone just out of frame influencing the doors. Without seeing the full environment, it's difficult to rule those out completely. The unsettling part is how responsive the movement appears. Whether it's something unexplained or not, the timing alone is enough to make the moment feel difficult to brush off. On February 19, 2012, a German YouTuber known as plingplong23 posted a video that shows a group of friends sitting around a coffee table in a house late one night. They appear to be playing their own makeshift version of a Ouija board, and as you might expect, things don't stay calm for long. For the first little while, everything seems completely normal. The group takes turns playing, smiling and laughing as if it's all just harmless fun, with no sign that anything unusual is about to happen. Then, out of nowhere, this happens.
Du hast dich schon! Nur weil sie jetzt noch weiter gedreht und halt gesehen! Was ist jetzt? Alter! Mama aus, Mama aus!
The wine glass suddenly begins to move on its own, sliding across the table before lifting up entirely and violently smashing into pieces. The moment happens fast, but it's enough to send everyone jumping back in shock, their reactions breaking the calm as the video abruptly ends. At first glance, it almost feels like something unseen is interacting directly with the glass, especially given how suddenly the mood shifts. The way it lifts off the surface is what really stands out, making it hard to immediately explain. At the same time, there are a few grounded possibilities to consider. It's possible something off-camera could have influenced the glass, or that some kind of setup was used to create the effect. Without a clear view of everything happening around the table, it's difficult to fully rule that out. The clip ends before we get anything close to an explanation, leaving the moment frozen at its most intense point. Over on the Alien subreddit, a user known as Ninth Arrow posted a video that captures something unusual in the sky late one cloudy night. The footage shows the uploader pointing his camera upward, while a group of kids can be heard in the background, yelling and reacting to whatever it is they're seeing above them.
Бүгін нешесі? 1 май. Время қанша жазсын? Мене. Мене ки. Aslında.
A large, bright light appears in the sky, partially obscured by the clouds. As the camera zooms in and out and pans around, the light remains fixed in the same position, giving a better sense of just how big it seems to be. The way it holds completely still makes the moment feel even stranger. It's easy to see why something like this would stand out, especially with how prominent it looks against the night sky. At first glance, this almost feels like something structured, rather than a single point of light, with the glow spreading in a way that gives it a more defined shape. At the same time, it's difficult to offer any simple explanation for what's being shown here. This doesn't automatically mean the object is alien or otherworldly, but based on the footage alone, it doesn't seem to behave like an obvious plane, drone, spotlight or reflection. The fact that it remains fixed in place while appearing so large only makes it harder to pin down. What makes the clip linger is how massive the light appears despite how little it actually does. It stays there unmoving, leaving the moment open to interpretation. A TikTok user known as Rody Farias posted a video to his account in March of 2026 that shows him recording inside his bedroom after apparently hearing strange noises coming from somewhere within his house.
Chicos, yo voy a filmar esto porque después me dicen que es mentira. Ustedes escuchan ese ruido, ¿no? Porque... Pará, no puede ser.
Right at the beginning of the footage, a series of knocking sounds can be heard from somewhere nearby. They're close enough to feel immediate, setting the tone as Rody begins cautiously moving through his home to figure out where they're coming from. From here, we follow along as he continues to investigate, and it doesn't take long before things begin to escalate.
¡Ey! ¿Qué carajo, boludo? Quiero que vean. Hay frío casi.
Just past the 1-minute mark, a dark figure briefly appears, peeking out from behind a wall outside. The moment is quick, but clear enough to catch attention. Despite this, Rody calls out and decides to follow, which leads him toward a nearby swing set. That's when things take another turn, as the swing can be seen moving on its own, swaying back and forth with no one around it. And it's right here that Rody finds himself in for one last scare. In the final moments, something is suddenly thrown onto the ground, seemingly out of nowhere, bringing the encounter to an abrupt end. The way this all unfolds gives the impression that whatever is happening isn't isolated to just one moment. From the knocking to the figure, to the movement outside, it feels like a sequence rather than a single coincidence. There is the chance that each moment has its own explanation. The figure could have been another person on the property, the swing might be reacting to wind, and the final movement is too brief to clearly identify what actually caused it. The unsettling part is how quickly each moment builds on the last. Just as one strange detail appears, something else follows, leaving very little time to process what's actually going on. A Reddit user known as Vladimir L. Sachenko posted a chilling video to the Bigfoot subreddit along with a detailed backstory explaining the footage. According to the Post, the video was filmed in 1999 by a group of rafters on the Kitoy River in Russia's Irkutsk region, near the Mongolian border. While traveling through the area, they reportedly captured a large, human-like figure covered in dark fur, standing on a cliff and watching them before quickly disappearing back into the forest. The clip has since been featured in multiple documentaries, though it notably has no sound. So without further ado, let's have a look. In the footage, a tall, lanky figure can be seen standing along a rocky cliffside, partially obscured by the terrain. Its proportions appear unusual, with long arms and a posture that doesn't quite match what you'd expect from a person at that distance. The strange part is how it seems to linger there, almost watching, before suddenly disappearing back into the surrounding landscape. The movement is brief, but enough to leave an impression. It's easy to see why some would connect this to a Bigfoot-like creature, especially given the remote location and the description provided. The shape and behavior don't immediately resemble anything familiar. If this wasn't something unknown, then the only realistic alternative may be that it was staged, with someone in a costume positioned on the cliff to create the illusion. The way it appears and vanishes so quickly is what makes the moment hard to pin down. Over on the interdimensional NHI subreddit, a user by the name of FMVK3 posted a fascinating video that was reportedly filmed in the Amargosa Valley in Nevada. The roughly 50-second clip appears to show a glowing object descending toward the ground, before hovering briefly. Moments later, it lifts back up, shifts slightly to the right, and then suddenly shoots off at an incredible speed, vanishing from view almost instantly. The way this unfolds gives the impression of something controlled, especially with how smoothly it transitions from landing to takeoff. The sudden burst of speed at the end is what really stands out, making the movement feel far beyond anything you'd expect from a conventional aircraft. There are those who'd interpret this as something genuinely unknown, possibly a craft operating in a way we don't fully understand. The motion, especially that sharp acceleration, doesn't immediately line up with typical flight behavior. Of course, there is the possibility that what we're seeing has been edited or enhanced in some way. Footage like this can be recreated with visual effects, and without additional context or angles, it's difficult to know exactly how it was captured. Adding to the mystery, one commenter claims to have witnessed something similar in person, describing jets chasing a fast-moving light that made a sharp turn before shooting upward into the sky. According to them, this happened years earlier, while they were sitting in a car with a sibling. So what do you make of this one? Could this be something genuinely unexplained, or is there a simpler explanation behind it? We all know sewer systems aren't exactly places most people would ever want to explore. They're unpleasant for obvious reasons, but they also tend to feel like the kind of place where anything could be hiding out of sight. This video was posted to the True Cryptozoology subreddit by a user known as Whole Negotiation 1843 and shows footage captured by a maintenance robot moving through a sewer system. At first, everything seems completely normal as the camera moves through the narrow, dimly lit space. But toward the end of the clip, something unexpected comes into view. Right around here, a strange creature suddenly darts across the frame before disappearing just as quickly as it appeared. The movement is fast, but noticeable enough to stand out against the otherwise empty tunnel. If you slow the footage down, the shape becomes a bit clearer. The creature appears to have a long body, along with what looks like an unusually long tail trailing behind it. At first glance, this almost feels like something unfamiliar, especially given how distorted its proportions seem in such a confined space. The briefness of the sighting only adds to that uncertainty. Skeptics may argue that this could simply be a rat, possibly affected by the camera angle, lighting or motion blur, which can sometimes make ordinary animals look far more unusual than they actually are, especially in environments like this. So what do you make of it? Could this be nothing more than a misidentified animal, or is it something that doesn't quite fit into anything we recognize? If you've been keeping up with current events, then there's a good chance you've heard about NASA's Artemis II mission, which captured a lot of attention around the world. However, there may have been something else hidden in one of the live feeds that not everyone noticed at the time. A Reddit user known as elik38 posted a clip claiming it was recorded on April 3rd at around 9:15 AM GMT during the broadcast. Take a look at what was captured. Right around here, a strange trail of light can be seen moving across the screen before the clip ends. It appears briefly, but clearly enough to stand out against the darker background of space. As the moment continues, the object doesn't just move, it seems to pick up speed, accelerating noticeably right before it disappears. That sudden increase in pace is what makes the clip feel a bit more unusual. The way it streaks across the frame, especially with that change in speed, gives it a somewhat deliberate feel rather than something simply drifting. It's easy to imagine this being something out of the ordinary, particularly given the setting and how unexpected it is to see during a live broadcast like this. In a scenario like this though, there are still a few grounded possibilities worth keeping in mind. A trail like this could be related to the spacecraft itself, something like vented fuel, drifting debris, or light-catching particles near the camera could create a similar effect, especially with changing perspective or motion. So what do you make of this one? Did this clip capture something unexpected during the Artemis II mission, or is there a simpler explanation behind it? Over on the YouTube channel Caught on Tape, a video was uploaded that begins with an eerie message, stating that the footage we're about to see was filmed on an abandoned property back in 2008. This is actually a clip I featured on my channel many years ago, and I thought it was worth taking another look. The clip starts with a man slowly approaching a shed-like structure in the dark, using only a flashlight to guide his way. He carefully opens the door and pushes it inward, only to be met with something completely unexpected.
Did you hear that? Let's get up. Come on.
Out of nowhere, a pale, lanky figure suddenly rushes toward him, letting out a high-pitched screech as it closes the distance. The moment is chaotic and brief, with the uploader quickly turning and running, managing to escape without any visible harm. The way the creature moves is what stands out most. Its speed and posture feel unnatural, giving the impression of something not entirely human. Moments like this are often linked to the rake, a creepypasta turned urban legend describing a thin, human-like entity known for its erratic movement and unsettling appearance. The resemblance is close enough that it's easy to see why many have made that connection. If this wasn't something unknown, then one explanation could be that it was staged, with someone in a costume rushing the camera to create a sudden scare. The setting and limited visibility would make it easier to pull something like that off. Nearly 2 decades later, the footage still doesn't come with any clear answers. So what do you make of it? Does this look like a genuine encounter or something created to feel that way? Reddit user Whole Negotiation 1843 posted another video to the True Cryptozoology subreddit that shows a birdwatcher in West Virginia accidentally capturing something unsettling while walking through the woods in broad daylight. We watch as the uploader carefully records through the grass and bushes, scanning the area as if he's tracking something. For a moment, everything seems calm, but that changes very quickly. A strange, furry-looking figure suddenly becomes visible, partially hidden in the brush. After a brief moment, it slowly turns its head toward the cameraman, revealing just enough detail to make its appearance feel deeply unnatural. The reaction is immediate. The cameraman turns and runs, cutting the footage short and leaving the encounter unresolved. The strange part is how unfamiliar the face looks, almost resembling something expressive in a way that doesn't quite match a typical animal. It's the kind of detail that sticks out, even in such a short clip. There are those who'd interpret this as something much more unusual, with someone even suggesting it could be a Bigfoot-like creature, given the setting and the overall shape of what's seen. At the same time, others have pointed out that it may simply be an owl, possibly distorted by the angle, foliage, and the brief glimpse we're given. There is also the chance that the clip could have been staged. So what do you make of this one? Could this be a misidentified animal caught at the perfect moment, or something that doesn't quite fit into anything familiar? Another post from the True Cryptozoology subreddit shows footage of a strange, humanoid figure spotted inside an abandoned building, filmed by a man from his apartment across the way. The video itself is fairly blurry, possibly due to distance or the age of the footage, and begins with the cameraman zooming in on the empty structure. At first, nothing seems out of place, but once you notice it, it becomes difficult to ignore. Right here, a pale humanoid figure can be seen standing up before slowly moving through the building. Its movements are subtle, but clear enough to suggest something is definitely there. The way it appears and begins to move gives the impression that it's aware of its surroundings, almost as if it's pacing or searching for something within the space. It's easy to see why some would view this as something more than just a person, especially given the unnatural look of the figure and the eerie setting it's found in. Some commenters believe the figure could have been created using CGI, especially considering the quality of the footage and how the figure appears against the background. There is also the chance that it's simply a person inside the building, with distance and resolution making the features look far more unusual than they actually are. So what do you make of this one? Are we looking at something unexplained? Or could there be a more grounded explanation behind what was captured? This next clip is one I actually featured on my channel many years ago, and I thought it would be worth taking another look, especially for those of you who may not have seen it before. On March 31st, 2015, a YouTuber known as Sgt. Peppers posted a video that shows someone wandering through the catacombs of an abandoned asylum somewhere in Canada. The footage follows a man as he moves through the dark, narrow corridors, calling out for his friend Matt, who appears to have gone too far ahead. There's a clear sense of urgency in his voice as he searches, but so far there's no sign of him. At one point, he rounds a corner and suddenly finds himself face to face with something unexpected.
Matt? Oh, I told you he's sick, he needed to take a breather. Matt! Following us? I swear to God, I looked behind me 5 seconds ago when he was there.
We need to stop playing around, man.
Matt! That's why he's freaking us out. Just go, take the right hand turn.
Standing directly in front of the cameraman appears to be a pale, human-like figure, motionless and almost blending into the darkness. The moment is brief, but not enough to trigger an immediate reaction, as he yells and turns to run. The way the figure is positioned makes it feel almost staged within the space, as if it was waiting there to be found. It's the stillness that stands out most, especially in contrast to the panic that follows. It's understandable that some might see this as paranormal, especially considering the setting and the sudden appearance of the figure. At the same time, this could have been someone else in the catacombs, possibly set up to create a scare, or even a coordinated hoax between multiple people. Thankfully, the cameraman makes it out without any harm, but it leaves one question. What happened to Matt? Did he make it out as well, or did something else happen down there? And that was 13 scary videos. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content. My name is Sir Spooks, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Mm.